Real life. So, good evening, afternoon, or morning if you happen to live in Japan somewhere, I guess. Um, and welcome to our scene set in Living Water Darkness, right across New York, a venue for wealth, the apocalypse. Tonight, today, uh, Clay and Clay have arranged to meet somewhere on the Bourne of the Sept, a veil protected area, perhaps wise given Clay's condition and the fact that he'll
He has a pretty good way of hiding it, but
does he have a hat?
um, he does have a hat. He
Oh,
has
there we
really big
go.
boots. Yeah,
There we
he has a
go.
hat, really big boots. But um, given the nature of their discussion, it might be
Yeah.
best to meet on set. So if Jacob wants, we'll probably find Clay within the forge.
Hmm. He had heard Clay was spending a lot of time at the forge, actually.
Was that's kind of like his domain right now.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
but yeah. um, I don't know if I don't know if Jacob is the kind of person to send word beforehand, but if he's not, then you'll probably walk in on Clay humming in spirit speech as he tends the forge fire.
As Jacob wanders in, he hears the language of the spirits. Kind of quirks
It's
and
just
eyebrows raises.
it's sort of mumblings that are sort of hummed in half music, sort of like the same way somebody would sing to their flowers as they water them. Except
Ah,
he is, using the bellows and putting more fuel onto the fire.
instead of growing flowers, I'm growing lethal weapons.
Yeah.
We're all proud. Um, but yeah, no, Jacob will. If he's not immediately noticed, Jacob just knock on the door. As he kind of walks on in, just as a matter of politeness, I suppose. Hey, I hope I'm not
Hey there.
interrupting anything.
Nah, you ain't nothing anything of immediacy anyway. Just getting ready to make a few ingots. What gonna do you for, Jacob? Right? Chris, you still there, bud? Chris? Hello? 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 Can people hear me? If you can hear me, let me know. Hello? This brief intermission is brought to you by Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York, the Groove Venue. Living World of Darkness centers around the Sept of the Green, which is in New York City. The Sept of the Green is located in Central Park. There are many places the Sept of the Green looks after. The current Sept totem for this particular Sept is a spirit known as Great White Mouse. I see you, but I can't hear you. I'm assuming people can still hear me. Nope. Says you're muted. I can see your thingy now.
Okay, it appears to be an issue with my
There we
appeared to be an issue with my microphone. So for some reason my microphone got disconnected, which
Huh.
then caused StreamYard to disconnect me from everything. Which is weird.
That is
I-
weird. It's
I
still
had-
going live though.
yeah, still going live. But there we go. Where were we?
Yeah. He Clay just said, "Yeah, sure. You weren't interrupting anything immediate. I was just getting ready to work on some new ingots. What can I do you for, Jacob Rye?"
I was just hoping to have a quick word about a couple of things.
That's good. I was hoping to have a word with you.
Oh, well, then it appears our fortunes aligned.
Hmm.
Also
Care for a
hoping-
beer?
Why not? I'll
Good
break
man.
my one rule for this.
Your one rule, huh?
I'm non-alcoholic.
If you're non-alcoholic, you're non-alcoholic. It's no bother. I got Coke, Mountain Dew. Don't tell me you're a Pepsi man.
That's fine. I'll just have Mountain Dew.
And he'll go to the small little cooler that he usually brings with him when he goes to the forge. He'll take a beer out for himself, take out a Mountain Dew for Jacob.
Thanks.
And he'll open his and sort of clink the can with the top. So what do you need to ask me?
I was just hoping to have a word with you about Vasily's former business. I was also going to have a word with well, I've already had a quick word of Havaka about this. We met up earlier, but wanted to see what we could do collectively to wrest that asset from him entirely and maybe turn it into something more valuable to us.
Well, truth be told, I don't really know how we would even start doing something like that. I don't exist in the outside world, Jacob. Not yet, anyway. I'm working on that, but I don't have any sort of trade that'd help. You understand?
That's fine. If it's not in your warehouse, it's not in your warehouse. More of just an inquiry. We don't think, or rather, I don't think Vasily is going to make extensive use of that business anymore, given that we've more or less denied it its purpose to him.
Also, it'd be kind of hard with the whole thing, having a plane in it.
That also is true. But to be fair, set up somewhere else, but as I said, some media connections now. Come up with some new twisted plan.
How do you melt assets?
find a way to sell them.
Oh. Fuck.
Yeah, not literally. Although I'm pretty sure that's what the plane did to half a hangar it crashed into.
Yeah, I suppose. Depending on if those assets were actually like gold or something, like supposedly getting up and down. But I still some aspects of Hamid life I'm not entirely 100% on. The idea of a bank account is kind of alien to me.
Well, maybe Milo has some ideas. Yeah, I just want to involve as many people as possible.
Havoc said he might be able to work on getting me an ID, so that'll be helpful.
That would be pretty useful. And at least I find in this sort of setting, one can't really not interact with the city. It's just not really productive.
I'm starting to learn that in small ways. So.
It really is little things, but those little things add up. But yeah, what were you hoping to discuss with me?
What was I hoping to discuss with you? He's just going to sort of lean up against the work table, cross his arms. The challenge Blood Eclipse gave me, I'm pretty sure you heard it, didn't you?
Oh yeah, it was well, that entire back and forth was fairly public.
Yeah, it was. Very much was. Yeah. I approached Blood Eclipse with measure of honesty, integrity. What does he decide to do? How does he decide to word his response? It's pretty clear to several others what that word means, if you understand. So I was kind of hoping. How do you view it? You are the master of challenges. What are your thoughts on this challenge?
I guess to sum it up in a sentence, it's a dick move, but otherwise valid.
So it is dick. It's an insult. It's directly an attempt to undermine my pack. And Milo is my pack alpha.
Mm-hmm.
You agree with that?
Yeah, I'd say so. I definitely believe there is the intent there, or rather, he is. I'm not sure what purpose he has for doing it. Given that I don't believe your territories board each other, it's not like he has that much to gain, territory-wise. Perhaps it is.
He has a lot to gain from me going along with this challenge. Because what it's saying, I'm sure if you think about it, just a couple minutes, what it's saying is that I agree with the way he views things should be.
True.
Larger And that means the Sept is gonna fall in line with the way he believes things should be. That's what he has to gain. Momentum.
Hmm. I'm curious, how do you think he views how things should be ran? Because I'm pretty sure I know. I'm pretty sure I know what I think, but I don't know what you think on that.
He wants me to admit that my worth comes slowly from his approval. That ain't the case. I challenge him for Foster. And yes, did I admit that he held, or I believed he held, a position superior to my own? But I meant that the means he's a Metis, Fianna Metis. He's a fairly powerful member of this sept. His pack holds territory, quite a large amount. May not seem like much. Just one other guru agreeing with how he believes things should be. But it's a slippery slope, Jacob.
Hmm. If I may ask, then, if you don't believe you require his approval, why did you challenge him specifically?
That's a fair question. I challenged him because he was a Fianna Metis, like I was. And he holds a position that is superior to my own. I can't argue with the results of what he's done as much as I disagree with how he's done them. I was looking for a little bit of nobility. I was looking to have, I don't know, some sort of symmetry to my challenge. I was thrown at the door of this sept, dropped off. I've heard other people say gifted. I haven't had the greatest of foundations coming here. I thought by challenging him, I'd solidify my own foundation. But he's decided to make that challenge, the honesty that I came to him with, a mockery and an insult. For his own enjoyment.
To an extent, definitely. I'm uncertain as to how fully it is, but I am fairly certain that has definitely played a role in his decision. He seems to consider this challenger, well, a matter of pride, as per his own words.
Oh, there was certainly pride going to him. I had it. May have been misplaced. But there was pride.
Pride does tend to be misplaced quite often within a nation.
I
But,
think particularly within my own my own tribe. That's a problem.
Hmm. Jacob sort of, how to say, navel gazes for a quick moment.
Yeah, that works.
I think the problem, from what I can see, is if you were to go ahead with this, if you were to challenge Milo, what would the intent be behind it? Because obviously, if you were challenging him out of obligation, then the challenge is in many ways simply a formality. For you to climb the ladder while validating Blood Eclipse.
Mm-hmm. Starting to follow my train of thought here.
Hmm. Of course, the problem with walking away is that if you or the pack as a whole is so uncomfortable dealing with the concept of a challenge to its leadership, one could question how long it would have lasted at all.
We're continuing down the tracks.
Oh no, I've discussed this with my own pack. It's a very interesting catch-22 that Blood Eclipse has put you in.
It's a were I to challenge Milo to be alpha, be a challenge that someone else told me to take, wouldn't be a right challenge. I have no reason to challenge him as my alpha. Milo hasn't done wrong by me. We as a pack have not done wrong by the Sept.
He has effectively done nothing to.
He's done nothing to earn this challenge.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's evident to see with our recent pass through the Silver Paths into the court of the Silver Queen, where he kept not only myself safe, but a member of your pack and a member of Havika's pack safe.
Pardon, could you repeat that last part? Sorry.
Hmm?
Could you repeat that last part?
Which
Sorry?
part?
Just the second half.
He said, I think Milo has proved he has done nothing to warrant a challenge to his leadership, especially given uh, their recent track into the Silver Paths, where he not only kept me safe, he kept a member of your pack and a member of Havika's pack safe as well.
Mm. Milo is quite capable. I do have some issues with him, but outside of those
We're all
minor
going to have
points.
issues with each other.
Outside of that, he's generally shown himself to be nothing but outstanding and capable. So,
So,
it appears. This is actually quite interesting. He says as he kind of looks up. Would it be fair? I don't want to go out of my way to be rude, but would it be fair to say you weaponized your challenge somewhat? You did make it quite public. You wanted to make a point.
I did want to make a point.
I think that's a fair way of putting it.
That's a fair way of putting it. I wanted to make a point. I wanted to make a point that, well, I'm better than Blood Eclipse. I am the better Fianna. That is where, I suppose, he kind of gives you a guilty smile. My pride came into it.
Well, I suppose if you... I can't say I know a great deal about the Fianna, but from what I've heard so far, it comes across as that this challenge is very much a debate of ideology between you two.
That'd be safe to say, I think.
You request a challenge from him to make a point. He gives you a challenge in order to make his point. I suppose in that case, all you need to do is give a refutation. If Milo hasn't done anything to warrant a challenge, then there's no need to. Sure, you would fail your challenge, but you'd be refuting his point. You'd be doing it on your terms. I mean, at the end of the day,
That seems like the easy way out.
Well,
I want to throw his words back in his face, Jacob. To be honest, I'd be very much appreciative if you help me do it, or at least show, or at least showed me, pointed me in a direction to where I could go to do it. Because there ain't no lying. My pride aside, my fostership aside, Blood Eclipse has made this challenge a mockery of what it was meant to be. You are the master of challenges. I know it's valid, but it is an insult.
Hmm. I don't like to micromanage. What specifically what it is what is it that you would want me to do? If I were to go in and help you, it could very much look as if I am swooping in to help you because you cannot do so yourself, and that would also play into Blood Eclipse's argument. In fact, I think
That would make it even more clear.
it would make it a yeah, it would make his case for him, frankly.
Exactly. I'd be speaking for him. I'd want to refute what he says to the point where he has to face me openly in the challenge. He can't hide behind Milo. He can't hide behind the challenge that he's faced me. That's what I'd like. And I think there's a way to do it.
Now I'm interested.
I just don't know if I'm smart enough to think it out by myself.
Tell me your ideas, because right now I'm looking at the challenge he's given you. And it is not. Well, let me just say, he's certainly showing his Villalox traits right now. There's not a ton of ways around it. He wants you to challenge Milo.
Mm.
So I guess the question is similar to how he turned your challenge into a weapon against you, how can you turn the weapon back against him?
It's not like he can go, say, challenge Blood Eclipse again. That's something Milo can't do.
Hmm. This may require some more thought from my side. Having difficulty coming up with an immediate solution.
You see my point. I could very well just walk away from
I don't necessarily think walking away from it is the wheezy way out either. If it is for the right reasons, then it is for the right reasons. If it was because you earnestly lacked the stomach for leadership, then yes, perhaps it would be shameworthy. But if it is, as you said, because you take no issue of Milo's leadership and you have no reason to challenge him other than to benefit yourself, well, that is an entirely reasonable argument. That's certainly not incorrect. It's certainly more honest than challenging him out of either selfish or dishonest reasons.
it. It's true.
And
But I don't think I could.
Oh, sorry.
I don't think I could have this just across the sept and it'd be fine. I need to make a show of it. You'd need to meet Milo and I in front of the sept. With Blood Eclipse there, so I could answer his challenge. We can't just go bawling at each other from one side of the sept to the other. And it was my mistake for starting that. I own it. I own up to that.
Mm. I don't think it was a mistake per se. You wanted to make a point, and you've certainly made it. I suppose, perhaps this is a bit Shadowlord of me to say, but it makes sense in this context. It really is only a mistake if his argument, as it were, triumphs over your own. I think if we were to reject the challenge because it would be causing you to because it would obligate you to issue a challenge dishonorably and dishonestly, that is a winning argument. It is an honorable argument. How do you want to meet his challenge, though? Because his challenge is fairly... Well, Blood Eclipse's challenge is fairly straightforward. There's not really a lot of nuance to it. There's no fine print to poke holes in.
I think if I call out that argument with him present, you present of the Master of Challenges, there'd be a little bit of an uproar. I'd be answering this challenge, giving the argument that I gave you, that there is no reason for me to challenge Milo other than to selfishly benefit myself.
Okay. Why do you need me to? Why do you need me for you to say that?
You're the Master of Challenges. This is a challenge. You need to oversee it, don't you?
It's true. Well, rank challenges are different beasts.
It's also because he called me out to do it in front of the entire set.
Well, by all means, refute his challenge in front of the entire sept. After all, as you say, you are meeting it. I would fully support that. That's very much in line with what has been asked of you. And not only that, is the honest thing to do.
Now I just gotta think of who to go to after.
Well, there's no shortage of Fosterns. Let's see. I can't actually think of a Foster and Iron outside of Brisingamen, and obviously she's not exactly a good bet. But that's, I suppose, that sort of decision is for another day. I don't think Agaro outside of that pack is going to give you a challenge like this. So, in that sense, it doesn't really matter too much. I don't think a Foster is going to give you a challenge to turn on your pack or anything outside of that pack. So you won't have to worry about that. Every challenge I've seen given to an Iron for their Fosterage has been one of violence, so that's probably what it will be.
He nods. Well, thank you.
Hope I've helped.
It did.
If it helps, I am rooting for you.
I appreciate that, Jacob.
I don't like how the Silver Tusks do things. And I would prefer... Well, I suppose everybody likes to see the underdog come out on top. So I can't really claim any moral high ground.
Just sort of smirks. If I howl, that I will meet his challenge. Will you support my argument? Challenging Mala would be dishonorable.
think Jacob might actually make a check here, because it's an interesting point from an out of character point. Is it, or is it not? Because it doesn't. Obviously, it doesn't. From an out of character standpoint, it doesn't violate any particular rule. There's no reason this challenge shouldn't go ahead. However, there's ample precedent for Garo challenging each other for all the wrong reasons all of the time. So
all of the wrong reasons, all of the time.
So I mean, he gets many successes on his law check. So, and I already have an ST messaging me. So in theory, it could fall within the bounds of honor.
Mm-hmm.
Rather, challenge itself would be honorable. It's just that the reasons would be dishonest, and as such dishonorable. But where is that distinction drawn? It is not strictly illegal. I suppose that's the I think that's probably the point. It's technically correct, the best and worst kind of correct.
Right. But so is Clay's argument. I would say.
Clay's argument is that my honor takes precedent over the challenge, ergo I cannot accept the challenge because I would be acting dishonestly.
I would be acting dishonestly and dishonorably.
Because
I would be dishonoring Milo in challenging him.
Well,
for no other reason than my own selfishness.
Would necessarily be dishonoring him more than you would be dishonoring yourself?
His position.
I think I'm about to get a war text. There we go. Yeah.
Dum, 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 dum.
Jacob, he actually spends quite a long time thinking about this. You can literally see
I'm watching. I'm watching.
It is very it's quite curious to see Jacob like enter this sort of like Socrates-esque state of just philosophical meditation. Like he is mediating between some sort of invisible man beside him.
Playing chess with himself.
He's literally playing chess against himself. Ultimately, this challenge doesn't break any rules.
No,
I could throw it
too
out.
Easy.
I could throw it out. But then I would be sparing you. And
I ain't asking you to throw it out. Let's make that clear. I am simply asking for support in my argument to refuse the challenge.
Well, I don't think.
I wouldn't ask you to put your set position in front of me. That ain't right.
Well, I don't think I don't support you. In fact, I'm fairly certain most of the packs on this set support you over Blood Eclipse. At the end of the day, while I would allow a challenge like this to go forward, I certainly wouldn't see it as particularly ethical.
Repeat that last part.
While I would allow a challenge like this to go forward, I certainly wouldn't approve of it myself or find it particularly ethical. After all, the intentions behind it would be influenced by an outside party or just be completely selfish.
Mm.
That said, such matters are of generally little relevance when it comes to a challenge. It's certainly no, yeah, it's certainly. I mean, you've already stated that you wouldn't want me to come between you and Blood Eclipse, but even if I were to, it wouldn't be the correct decision on my part. It wouldn't be that there is no legal bearing to support that, I suppose, to put it very
Absolutely
technically.
No. Mm-hmm.
So I would just suggest doing what you already seem to be planning on doing. Meet him publicly in the Sept, so everybody is watching, and refute it. You stand by your convictions. You have no reason to challenge Milo. He has done nothing to warrant the questioning of his leadership. To challenge him would otherwise be selfish or not even of your own volition, influenced by an outside party.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most people will support that.
I think so too.
Maybe you failed a challenge, but hey, Garo failed challenges all the time. We move on and continue.
He just sort of chuckles. No way you could name me Falstern before I do this, could you?
Oh, hell no.
Didn't think so.
Although it would be very poetic.
It'd be funny as shit.
There'll definitely be a tale of that. It's just whether it's be a tale of glory or caution.
All right. Thanks, Jacob.
No problem. Thanks for the drink. What were you working on, by the way? Just fueling the flames?
Just ingots. I was gonna work on some ingots. I don't have a particular, after Havika's breastplate, I don't exactly have a particular project as of now. I was gonna work on something with this, and he pulls out the two spinal cords of the giant snake Fomori. I'm not sure what I'd do with it. I thought about weaving them together, making a whip. But what Garou uses a whip?
There's a sort of eerie silence from Jacob.
Be nice. Be nice material for some sort of fetish. Not really sure what I can't make a fetish out of it. Maybe Havika or Zelda.
I'm sure
Yeah,
Zelda
we'll
could
see.
find use for a whip.
Oh no, this would be for me. These are mine.
A whip doesn't really seem your style, if I'm honest.
What's that?
A whip doesn't really seem your style, if I'm completely honest.
Exactly.
You're more like what? What do you consider your style to be? I feel like more hammer or spear.
Now, I haven't used a weapon.
Oh.
Really.
Hmm.
I was taught how to use a bat pretty well. But I mean, a club ain't a weapon. It's a club.
How about a mace?
I ain't sure. Never thought of it.
Hmm.
Mace would seem a little bit too close to Milo's, though. He uses a hammer.
I mean, that's like equating a sword of a dagger, though. Might be similar things, but they are different.
Maybe I could make it into some sort of armor.
Now, that would be interesting. I know Harvikan acquired some armor for himself. I think he made it.
Nah, I made it.
Oh, you made it.
Yeah, I made that
well,
breastplate.
my apologies. Credit where credit is due. He was quite impressed of it. Maybe some armor then. Well, it'd certainly be convenient. I also have to sneak off or buy some Kevlar from the station. I always have to be careful of how I do it because, well, people are giving me some side eye about it, or rather, are giving some side eye to the missing gear, and I need to be careful not to take too much before people start asking all the wrong questions or all the right questions if they're actually trying to.
Yeah, they're kind of rad.
Yeah.
Let's not avoid that. How do you do it, by the way?
Well, I had the very big advantage of having an inn from the start.
No, not that. Not that. I mean, in general. How do you maintain a human life next to a Garou one?
Not easily. I used to just fall asleep at times from exhaustion. I guess I've just grown into it. It forces a lot of hard decisions.
I bet it does.
Sometimes I can play both into each other. And that's generally what I look for first. And sometimes they do that by themselves. But a lot of the time, I'm having to choose which life to prioritize, and All too often, that is, of course, this life. After all, it's the life with many more responsibilities. I guess in a way, it's sort of like a tug of war, or a war in general, and just having to constantly pick my battles. When to choose this over that. When it's all right to spend more time as a police officer as opposed to a fellow docs. I don't really have an easy answer for it, and that's in
I
part 'cause
didn't
it's just
expect
not
there
easy.
was one.
It's not easy to do. I know a fair few Karu who just avoided the whole issue or took on some sort of role in Immortal Society that just involved less uptime. If anything, I think my role as I've sort of climbed up the police ladder, that's actually sort of worked for me a little bit. Less, more opportunities to delegate. But it's tiring. If you do it, be prepared for not a lot of sleep.
It's all right.
I'd probably not recommend taking on the sort of profession that I have.
No, I don't think. I think the first time I'd accidentally get shot by one of these people, there'd be some
110%
questions, huh?
Oh yeah, you 110% would. Either because by accident and then you don't fall over and people start asking the wrong questions, or because they're terrified of you upon looking at you and decide to do something stupid.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's anybody that can really, any real. When you can spend. I wouldn't really. Never mind. I went to go out of character. I want to say, well, when you spend 6 rage, but that's not really something you can say in character.
And I'm not even sure that would actually work because I think it's based off your permanent rage. Because it's like a level 4 gift to like not have humans affected by your rage. Level 4 gift, which is insane, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
To just not have this inconvenience.
There's a couple of other gifts that you can do. But it's the 4th one that is like you have no trace of rage.
Yeah.
So I think Glasswalkers get something.
And persuasion helps.
Persuasion does help. I'm not sure. I'd have to double check the book. But
if I were to make a recommendation, I've been a significant portion of my responsibilities as a police captain are delegated to kinfolk who run the force.
Right.
Now, we don't exactly make the best faces for organizations or for most things, given the effect we have on people. So it may be wise to work with your kinfolk. Kinfolk are very much more effective at being a part of mortal society than we are, but we can do things that they can't, and sometimes you just want to contribute. So being someone who operates behind the scenes either as someone who is controlling things behind the scene or not, may be a way forward. Maybe, I mean, you seem a capable craftsman. Doesn't mean people have to see you create the product, for example.
It's true. And I came across some kinfolk that would like to be under my protection.
Well, if you're able to get a steady income going with that skill set of yours, all of you can benefit from it. If you want to, of course. And they might have other things going on.
No, I was thinking that's where I'd go.
Well, that would be my my suggestion. In hindsight, I took a path that was perhaps a bit more difficult than was necessary to achieve a similar result. So that is that would, I guess, yeah, that would be my recommendation to you. Of course, can I solo? It's what I did for a while. It can work, particularly if it's an area where just nobody has connections in.
He nods.
But yeah.
Well, thanks for that.
No problem. I hope I hope things look up for you in your pack. You've I feel like you and Smoke and Mirrors have had a rough time with it lately. I know things are finally beginning to look up for Smoke and Mirrors. So hope you guys are to follow. I think you've been expanding your turf, so
Expanding it little by little. We need we do need more people. That much is clear. But we'll see.
I know how that feels. For the longest time, I would have a pack. Well, ever since the old pack I was with broke up, I tried starting mine, and for a straight year, I'd have maybe 3 people at most for a month, and then one would bail or Lion was first steady footing in a long time. And even then the price for it was pretty high. But yeah.
I remember that. Did you need anything else?
No, not really. Other than to perhaps pry another drink off your hands.
There you
go. Thanks. I'm glad I was able to have this talk with you. It's been a long time coming, I think. Really.
You haven't really talked much.
Yeah. Well, glad we finally got to have that discussion. But I think that's all from me. I should probably get back to my pack, and I'm gonna have to pay a visit to the bloody prisons on the Sept.
Really?
Yeah. Pack business.
All right.
But also progress. So looks like things are finally shaping up for this set. Pardon?
Let's hope they continue.
I certainly hope they do. But I'll see you later, Clay. It was good talking to you.
Talk to you later.
He'll that's why he off as he leaves the forge, leaving Clay to tend to the fires once again. I think would be a good place to end our scene.
I think so too.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye.